Welcome everybody to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards. I am the driller Sincere, and that is my partner Uncle E. And tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with legendary hip hop band Stetsasonic in the building. Talk about the creative process behind your new album. Here we go again.
So Wise said to me one time something that I thought was incredibly profound. He said, "Daddy-o, you know why you see features on all these you know why you see features on all these albums?" I said, "Why, Wise?" He said, "Cause ain't no groups."
yeah. And
so,
it's true.
So you know, the one thing we always took pride in, and I know pride is according to J. Cole, pride is the devil, but I'm on that Kendrick side. But anyway, I even said it in the record that we got out right now. I said I used to make songs for his parents. Now I make songs with Kendrick. So you know where my alliance is, because Ye's on our side, and then if we got to bring Pusha T in, we will. But anyway, we always took pride in being a band. We always took pride in being a unit, and so the approach was not really different than it was with On Fire, Info Gear, or Blood, Sweat, No Tears. It's a collective effort. Most acts in hip hop, and this is no disrespect to them, I'm just calling it what it is, had external producers. So even though the Bomb Squad was internal with Public Enemy, they wasn't on stage with them. Right. We made our own records and still continue. This is the first album that we actually, even delved into being outside producers, and a lot of that is because Wise and I just wanted to write. Like for a minute, we just wanted to sit back and be MCs. You know what I mean? And not really make the beats and all of that. Just get on the, you know what I'm saying? Just be rappers, like, you know what I mean? And so I think Here We Go Again is a little more rapidy. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's a little more rapidy rap Stetsasonic than like other records that we might have made. I'm trying to get this glare out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so we just wanted to be MCs. You know what I mean? And so a big part of this process, shout out to all the production on the album. Bobby Simmons, shaped it off. He mixed it all. Shout out to Blue, for mixing, most of the records. But we just really wanted to spit, man. You know what I mean? Like, cause a lot of times people don't get to see our class of MCs really spit. They did back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They did back in the day, but then now you hardly even hear us spit. You just see, when I say us, I just mean classic MCs. A lot of people call it the golden era. I think it's more than one golden era, but that's a whole nother story. But what people call the golden era, you don't hear the golden era MCs spit. And so that was a big part of this record. Like, you know what I'm saying? Delight A&R the whole record. He told us where to go. He came up with the title, Here We Go Again. He told us where to, you know what I'm saying? And we just was like, me and Wise was like, oh, that's what you want to do, D? All right, we with it. You know what I mean? And we just got on some going back and forth, throwing stuff away that we didn't like, accepting the stuff that we did like, and following Delight's lead for A&R, like the Lolita record, like the Dreams Come True record, like, yo, D, this is what we need to do. Delight will be like, yo, D, this is what we need to do. And I'd be like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? But it's all the concept of a collective effort. You know what I mean? I would think Earth, Wind, and Fire does the same thing. I would think Mandrill does the same thing. Like, it's the band thing. You know what I mean? It just so happened, right, that we rap. right? So it's a little different than say Santana or Brass Construction, where everything is horns and you know what I mean. Like it's not
Right.
that for us. It's the something Steve Vett said long time ago to Russell Simmons, right? Steve Vett told Russell Simmons that Run DMC is rock and roll. So Russell said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Run's the guitar." So you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, so we as MCs are the instruments for our music. So that's really what it is. And just having the support of the band makes us stronger because we have no disrespect, but we have more than just a DJ.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Makes total sense. Real quick, let's just want to welcome Delight, man. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the I don't know what was going on before, but you're here now, man. How's everything with you, Delight?
I am doing okay. I'm just happy to be here. Where your guys are out of? Because I don't know. Where your guys are out of?
I'm in New York. I'm located in New York. My partner Sincere is located in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
We've both been doing this separately for a long time, and we just kind of joined together.
Okay.
And here we are. We're changing up the hip hop guards, and one of the dopest and biggest hip hop bands in hip hop in the world, Stetsasonic, man.
Hey, Sincere, man. Sincere, brother Sincere. Yes, I want to offer my condolences real early because we're about to mop them paces, man. You heard me? We back, man. We back, man.
Hell yeah.
This ain't your John Starks Knicks either, man.
No.
You heard me?
We still the Reggie Miller Pacers, though.
No, it's gonna be revenge from that year.
Hell yeah, I can't wait, man.
It's gonna be revenge from that Patrick Ewing layup that he should have done.
And you know it's a good year, man, when the Knicks are finally gonna make it to the second round. Stetsasonic got a new album out. Plus
that's what I'm talking. Hey, look, the day we dropped the album, it was an earthquake in New York. I say no more, bro. I say no more.
That is true. Man. Hey, Delight, man, why don't you tell us a little bit from your perspective, man? How did you feel putting this album together? 30 years?
33 years, which we looking for a Guinness Book of Record award because according to what my friends tell me, it's the longest delay between albums, period, cross genre. I checked on my music guys and I said, what about Steely Dan? And my guy said, no. I said, what about the Rolling Stones? He said, no. So I don't think anybody did this before.
Man, and
go ahead, D. I'm sorry. D.
Just to add on to that, though, to come out so long after and sound like you didn't even miss a beat. Like I said to Wise earlier, it literally sounds like a continuation from your last album.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Delight.
Well, the thing is that we are under reconstruction. So everything that we're doing now is from what we learned in the past, taken from what we are learning now, and putting it all together. You know what I'm saying? And giving people a good product that they can swing with. But we're on an upcline. So for the next few years, you're going to see some different stuff that we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make our mark at an age where, as we're showing, you know what I'm saying, the people who may come behind us on a little bit of what it's going to look like. You know what I'm saying? As you do age, you know what I'm saying? Because hip hop is 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? So as we mature and move forward, so will the music begin to move forward also. But what does that look like? How do we do it? You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of ways in which we can go right? Because this is all about grown men doing hip hop. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
grown man music. That's
Grown
what it
man
is.
music. You know what I'm saying? So it's still for the young, but it encompasses everything that we do, because the story is real important. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a culture, number one, if you don't have elders. You gotta have some elders. Otherwise the culture dies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some elders, people who have done it before. You know what I'm saying? And do it with a high grain of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about.
Right.
Here we go again. And on the next album, it's going to be something else. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to show them that, hey, yo, don't worry, we got y'all. We under reconstruction. Everything we're going to be doing is going to seem like it's almost new age. Or like y'all said, we haven't lost a beat.
No, not at all. Not as far as the music goes. I'm glad you touched on that, because that actually was going to be one of my questions. We're at a point where we haven't seen this yet, right? Like, there's a lot of artists out there that I feel tend to get confused onto whether they're supposed to continue making music because they're 40, 45 or whatever. Are they supposed to stop? Like, they don't know, because we haven't been there yet.
Right.
And like you said, I'm so glad you said that, because I want to be able to go to a show and see Stetsasonic, see Rakim, see, all these groups or whoever it is that I grew up on and love, and still be able to go sit down and enjoy them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad, like Nas recently mentioned, I think on that last one, he was like, man, I thought I was supposed to stop at 45, but he was crazy. So, and you see, he's still going.
He's still going.
So that's really dope, man. I'm glad you guys are doing that. So yeah, man. So let's, we're talking a little bit about the music. The album is really dope. Wise was talking about people in our neighborhood. One of my favorites. I love the fact that you guys included that song on there. Give it some humor. Got the beatbox going, and just that good nostalgic Sesame Street vibe.
I mean, that's like the typical Stetsasonic. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get a chance to incorporate that in the third album, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears, but I suggested to Daddy O that I think that we like I was saying before, that we should incorporate it, because that's an element that was definitely missing on the third album, but we brought it into this album right here. So now it pretty much it completes that that era that we that thing that we've always had within the first two albums and stuff that we didn't do on the third album. We was due for a human beatbox joint, and for all the next album that we create, hey, I may come up with a different sound and stuff like that, and I'll say, hey, Daddy O Delight, yo, let's do this, and we all wind up doing it.
Dope.
Can you talk a little bit about the guest appearances on the album?
So the guest on the album, very interestingly, is probably the reverse of what other people do. So people go out and find features. Those features found us.
Mm-hmm.
Every feature on our album found us. These are people that wanted to do records with us, that loved us. What we love about it is that those people are younger than us. Mm-hmm. And they just adored Stetsasonic. Like Jukes was like, yo, I just want to do it. Like Smooth was like, yo, I just want to do it. Mala was like, yo, I just want to do, you know what I mean? So, we like to I don't know, I guess you could call it selfishly, but it's not really that selfish, but we do like to rock with those people that rock with us. You're never going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? You're never going to be everybody's favorite. You're never going to be everybody's style of music and all of those particular things. But what we do, we think is important. The way we've made records all the way from On Fire up until now, we think it's important. We think that particular sound is important. We think the way, the sonics are important. We think that the arrangements are important. And those people that end up featuring on our record, which we actually working on a Cypher Part 2 right now with a bunch of dope surprises. you know, these are people that mess with us. Like they like us, they like what we do, they like where we going. The interesting part for them was what we were doing, because I'm not really sure, and you could talk to them about it, but I'm not really sure if they thought we was gonna come like that. And like for instance, Jukes was very, I mean, he was pleased, but like he was also surprised, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like he knew we was gonna do something, right? And he knew, oh, you know, they Stetsasonic, so it's gonna be dope. But I don't think that they thought it was gonna be what it is. And that's the part. I even said this to the guys, like, usually the concept of nobody checking for you is a bad thing. For us, it wasn't a bad thing, because it ended up being a pleasant surprise for people. You know what I mean? Like, and the whole, you know, the whole thing is, like the light said, you know, when you get into that concept of reconstruction, and you know, you doing your thing again, and you know, it's just like with your body, you know what I mean? If you, or your health, or your eating habits, and you working out, you coming new, you're gonna approach things differently, because it's a second win. For us, maybe it's a little past the second win, but it's a second win, right? Like it's a new energy. So we welcome it, and then, you know, they not whack. That's the whole thing. Like, they really came with it. Like, honestly, no disrespect, you probably got the best smoother hustler in the world on that Cypher record.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm 5'7", 5'8" is my crown height. Like, yo, this man he left Earth. Marla left Earth. Like, they be leaving Earth with that. You know what I mean? And we be loving it, because that's what we want. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's that thing. You know what I mean? And that's that, you know, all of us that fell in love with this music through this culture, the thing that really excites us, that's why we all going crazy over this Euphoria record right now, is that's what we want. We want that bite. You know what I mean? Because for us now, I don't know about a guy like Kendrick, because he wasn't around. He was not born. But for us, nobody liked us, bro. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I respect Frankie Crocker, but it's a whole bunch of disrespect for me for Frankie Crocker, because all them guys tried to get us off the radio. Tyrone Williams will tell you the story about how Barry Mayo, all of them, tried to make a deal with Lady B, with Pink House in Chicago, God bless the dead, with Greg out there at K-Day, and say, if y'all stop playing rap, we'll give y'all better positions on the radio. That's a fact. They wanted to shut us down. So when we come through on some, we music. Like, they used to tell us, y'all are not music. Y'all are scratching those records. Y'all gonna mess up the records. Like, everything anybody was doing. Graffiti art wasn't art. Break dancing wasn't dancing. And DJ and the DJ, the concept of hip hop making the DJ a musician, it's unbeknown. I mean, it's unparalleled. I mean, what do you call? They can't even understand what Q-Bird and them are right now. Right. They listen to that and they like, did he really do? You listen to a dude beat juggle, which I'm not gonna say Paul created it, but I'm gonna tell you, Prince Paul was doing that a long time ago. Prince Paul was doing that Rock the Bells routine way before Jazzy Jeff. I'm on record to tell you. When you see them guys start doing that, you realize that this is something to be reckoned with. And I think that is I don't know if it's the total essence and core, but it's definitely part of the essence and core, that we want to show that we belong with any musician. I always say this. I say it in numerous interviews. Delight and I only called it hip hop because they called it hip hop. All me and Delight thought is we was the extension of the black music that came before us. Because all we listening to prior to that is Blue Magic and Curtis Mayfield and all of that. And all we thought is, yeah, they do that and we do this. Right, you know what I mean? But we thought we fit. We always felt like we fit. We never felt like we didn't fit with the music that came before us. And so I think for us, it's that, right? Yeah. Years later, the biggest joke to me in the world is to hear a station go home of hip hop and R&B. I'm like, from where? Like, you never liked us before. Now all of a sudden we don't. Come on, man. You know what I mean? But it is satisfying that we're recognized that way. And then again, you know, just building on what the light said, adding on the cipher, the concept of being elders in the sport even creates a different sort of pride, because I'm yo, bro, I'm 63, and I will get in a cipher with anybody. I mean, it's maybe 2 or 3 battle rappers that I will stay away from because they that nice, but the rest of them could get it. Like, anybody could get it right now. You know what I mean? And that's the cornerstone of hip hop is competition. You know what I mean? And the light always just gets on us about trying to make perfect records, man. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, D, it gotta be like this. What? No, D. You know, no, like blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we went through a whole bunch of ideas, but Lolita sounded dope with nobody singing on it. You know what I'm saying? It's those kind of decisions. It's Wise making the decision and calling me one day and say, yo, man, we need to put people in the neighborhood on the album. He's saying it to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? But then we do it. First of all, the you know, everybody that we work with at Spitslam was like, let's go. And then the praise, not only y'all, but almost everybody that talks to me about this album, people in the neighborhood, is one of their favorite records on the album.
It's a man. I'm telling you, because again, I hate to keep, but there's a feeling. Like, we always talk about this feeling, and when it comes to hip hop music, any element you want to talk about, but when it comes to the music, when we would listen to an album back in the days, that's what you would kind of look for, right? Like, you would, those little tidbits, those little things that was a little bit different than the rest is like what excited us. You know what I mean? If we heard an album and all of a sudden there's like 2 or 3 tracks, and then the next one there's like just a beatbox going on, it was like, oh shit, this is dope. So like, that's that same feeling that you guys provided by putting a song like that others might be like, why would you want to put something like that on an album? I'm listening to it. I'm talking about me personally. All out, you know, song for song. Then that one came on. I had to stop for a second.
Right.
I started laughing. I was like, oh, this is crazy. It had the element of the beatbox. It had the humor. It had references, because, you know, that was something too, right?
Right.
A lot of artists would make references, whether it was commercials or TV shows or whatever. It had everything that incorporated and made us love what you guys do. You know what I mean? What we love.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you guys for creating an album like this that provides all of that. Dope features, you know, the humor, dope vibes. Because I was telling Wise, you guys sample stuff that I was a little surprised. I didn't know which direction you would go in, but you brought in stuff that it's just like, oh man, remember that song, remember that sample. So you brought that feeling, man. So we appreciate that. I do want to ask one question, though, if you don't mind. The song Handled, is that right? The song Handled. You know, you guys talk about certain things and touch on certain, you know, topics.
Right.
Is it okay to ask, without going into too much detail, Fruquan? You know, we didn't know, or at least we weren't kind of aware that he wasn't in the group. Is there anything, you know, would there ever be a Fruquan joining Stetsa again at some point, or?
He had the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is that Fruquan was a part of Stetsasonic, and you know, we gave him every opportunity available and stuff. You know, since he was a part of Stetsasonic, we've always included him when it was time to perform, when it was time to record and stuff. Fruquan even got the first the music for Now Y'all Giving Up Love. Which was
the first single, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first single that we put out in a long time. We sent him the music. We wanted him to be a part of it and stuff, but professionally speaking, Fuquan is not there professionally. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that this is a business and we have to handle it like a business and stuff. And if you're not going to be professional, yeah, exactly. And if you're not going to be professional about it, then, you know, we got to cut you off and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like I said, the thing about it is that, you know, we've always given him that opportunity for everything. Even when we started doing shows together and stuff, you know, we would give him a call because he was a part of Stetsasonic. Hey, you know, we got a show here. Do you want to join us? And that was all the time. This was all the time and stuff, you know. But like I said, it got to the point that he became, you know, he was very unprofessional in trying to deal with the business aspect of it and stuff. So, you know, we had to move on. We definitely had to move on.
The album's been out about a month. What has the feedback been so far?
I'm getting nothing but positivity and praises.
Yeah.
You know, the streams are decent, but I don't care about streaming anyway. I really care about just, you know, the hardcore fans. When we began this process, a lot of the ideology was to give parents, and I have to say that, to give parents the right of the aux cord and the Bluetooth back, right? Because parents are in cars with teenagers and they you know, they have to listen to Nicki, they have to listen to Finesse 2 Times, they have to listen to Glorilla, because they have to listen to Megan. I mean, they have to, because, you know, if they put on Rock the Bells radio, the kids just say that music sounds old. That's what happens. And that's just a fact, right? And so we wanted to give our fans bragging rights again. You know what I mean? And it's happened. It really has happened. I have friends all over, West Coast, everywhere, that's like, yo, I'm in the car playing this record with my son and he's loving it. You know what I mean? And that was a really big aim for us. I think the light touched on that a little earlier, where, you know, young people's ears have changed, especially digital natives, because digital natives never grew up on boom bap. So they don't really, possibly some of them appreciate it, but a lot of it to them sounds probably as old as Chubby Checker sounded to us. You know what I mean? And so the idea is music ain't going nowhere. You know, we came to the conclusion that we're not basketball players, and so we don't have to worry about our knees, right? So, you know, the bottom line is that, you know, our voices are not, you know, it's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, you know, and there's no disrespect to anybody else, but I'm gonna just call it, thankfully, Stetsasonic is not a band that had problems with drugs where, you know, the voices went out or something happened, and, you know, those particular situations. Yeah, you got a couple of unfortunate situations like DMC and the DOC where, you know, those were health issues, but we never had that. So, I mean, you got your voice. So the whole concept is, okay, your voice is still there. Can you write? You know what I mean? Can you write? And can you write for 2024? Because probably all of us could write, right? And then when I say all of us, I mean every classic rapper, every classic rap act can probably write a rhyme. If they can't, then that's just foolish, right? Somebody else must have been writing for them. You know what I mean? But can you write for now? Can you do something for now that's present, that's not trap, right? It's not any of those particular things. You know what I mean? That was the other thing that you know, that D was really adamant about. Like, he was like, D, I'm down, but I'm not messing with them trap beats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we again, like, I give a lot of credit to our production team, which is a bunch of them, and it's a bunch coming. But Vic Law, C-Doc, Kevin Dean, the kid J.E. did the Hanging on a String. That's the kid that did country grammar for Nelly.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I give a lot of credit to our production team because the records that they submitted was songs that they knew could be for us, but also they didn't try to make it sound like 88.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was very important to us. It was very important to us that we didn't sound like 88. And I don't mean that in addition, but I think Info Gear is one of the best records to ever hit the planet. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get it twisted. Talking all that jazz and Sally goes so hard, it's sickening. You know what I mean? If you see us in the show doing those records, it's sick. It's sick.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to sound dated. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Right.
You guys finally get your unsung. How did that process come about?
Oh man, we're proud of Unsung. That documentary, you know, puts us in a different level of perception. You know what I'm saying? People are able to now see and now relate to our story and so forth and so on. So that's in a nutshell. You know, I love it, and from the responses I got, people, you know, really enjoy it. There's a lot of things that they learned that they didn't know before.
We in 2000 and I want to say 21. It's around 21. We did 2 huge shows in Brooklyn. We did one in the Brooklyn Army Yard with the mayor and the Universal Hip Hop Museum, which is now called just the Hip Hop Museum. And they did a 5-borough kind of thing. They did one in Brooklyn, you know, one in all 5 boroughs. And so we did that show. And then we had the next week we had a huge show with, you know, called Stetsasonic and Friends. And we headlined and we brought Smith and Wesson, we brought Master Ace, we brought MOP, we brought a bunch of people out, you know, that was from Brooklyn, and we did that. And I had to put together everything. I had to do the flights, I had to make sure the guys were paid, I had to do the hotels and everything. So I called Bobby after it was all over, and I'm exhausted. I said, Bobby, man, you gotta get a manager for us, man, because I can't be doing this. And so Bobby reached out to Courtney Benson, who's our manager. He actually managed Nelly all the golden years. All through the golden years, he managed Nelly. Right now, he manages Morris Day. And the first thing Courtney said when he came to the table was, "Man, I'm gonna get you guys an unsung."
Wow, nice.
And he followed through.
Yeah,
nice.
Peace out to Courtney.
Shout out Courtney Benson. Best manager in the world.
Nice. Well, that's really dope, man. We were excited to see that was happening. You know, we had the chance to speak to Bobby. So before the Unsung came out, and you know, that's really dope. Congratulations. And what's going on? I know you guys probably have something coming up, you know, as far as working on a new album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we always record, man. Yeah. We've been in the studio. I mean, we made more records for this album than we put out.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's a Prince Paul thing. Years ago, when we first made On Fire, Paul came up with this concept where he would come up with like 20, 30 titles for songs. And then we would pick the ones and write about it. A lot of times we would write to all of them, right? And so we've always been in the habit of overflow. We never go under. We always make more than we should make. We just have a different type of advantage in 2024 with the technology. Because back in the day, we had to do, you know, 2-inch tape, and then you had to wait for the engineer to finish it, and all of those particular things. You know what I mean? Right. So what happened is we now are in the process of we can record pretty much at will. So for the most part, we have the entire second album mapped out for the most part. But I know there's gonna be some other things that come in, you know, because Bobby hit me with something yesterday, and I hit him with something, and then it's like, it's crazy, like it's nuts, right? So I know those, you know, a lot of that's gonna be, you know, added on to it. But yeah, we always record. Like for instance, Cypher was the last record we recorded.
Okay.
And it wasn't set for the album at all. It just so happened that I'm talking to Bobby one day. Me and Bobby always talk music, and then he's like, "Yo, man, that Graham Central Station loop is crazy." And I was like, "Yo, on one of my solo albums, I kind of did that." And I said, "Let me send you what I did." So I sent it to him. He says, "Man, I'm gonna put it together." And then he put it together. He had already had requests from Mala and Smooth to do records with us. So you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. So we constantly recording, you know, evaluating touring opportunities right now. You know, trying to figure out like what that really looks like, in terms of, you know, like who we go out with, you know, how long we want to go out, you know, all of those particular things. But I mean, you know, the title of the new album really describes it all. Here we go again. Like the light said, it's reconstruction. So if you know anything about reconstruction, you know what I'm saying, we building a better house.
That's it.
Daddy, you also have a project, Self-Destruction, Part 2?
Yeah, so we calling it this time around Stop Self-Destruction, because self-destruction is a little deeper than just violence, although we still dealing with a lot of violence in the street right now. We still dealing with a lot of, you know, with the gangs and stuff. We're dealing with a whole lot of that right now. But we also dealing with an opioid crisis. We're dealing with, you know, the issues of teen pregnancy. I say it all the time. We never thought that we would say the words hip hop and suicide in the same sentence, right? Hip hop has always been about life, right? And so back in the day, you would never really hear about suicide in hip hop. It was all about living. It was all about moving forward. But then, you know, we end up with situations like Mac Miller. I still call Juice WRLD a suicide. You know what I mean? And there's some others that, you know, that some other unfortunate deaths, which we talk a lot about stuff on the Fallen Soldiers record. But so we, you know, I'm putting together this project. The aim is for the movement. The records, no disrespect to records, but the records are the easiest thing to make, right? But I want to do it, and I'm doing it with a lot of young people because I want adults and young people, but I definitely want the adults to understand the pain that the young people are going through. Like, we used to do hookie parties. All we did is smoke tray bags of weed, get some old gold, and that was it, right? And hope they not get in trouble with our moms and pops. These young kids are doing opioid parties because their friends died, and their parents know nothing about it. And adults are looking at them like they're demons. They might be doing some demonic shit, but they're not demons. So the youth are being vilified. So I'll give you an example. I take an artist like my man T Grizzly out of Cleveland. I tell him, you on the block, you on the corner, right? And you and your man and them, y'all out on the corner talking, whatever y'all doing, right? And then somebody comes by and they just light it up, right? They wet everybody up. Your man gets hit 6 times, right? I'm creating a scenario that never happens. The cops are close, right? So the cops are close. The ambulance comes close. Never happens, but the ambulance comes close. You know, it comes quick. You in the ambulance with your man. They pumping him, whatever. He's bleeding. They trying to patch up holes. You get to the ambulance. You know, you get to the ambulance entrance to the hospital. They wheel him in, but of course, you know, they're gonna tell you can't go in there with him. So now you waiting for him to see what the doctor comes out and says. Give me 8 bars of that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I'm going with it. Same thing. Take a girl like Glorilla, You know, you end up messing around with this man. You find out that he's married. Y'all, you know, y'all get into it. No Jimmy Hatters involved. You find out you're pregnant with his child. You think you want to have it, but he's married. He's not gonna leave his wife. You go to the abortion clinic. You dare, but now you pacing as to whether or not you want to get rid of this baby or keep it. Give me 8 bars of that. And so that's what stop self-destruction is. Young people are going to be bleeding the pain. I want people like Trippie Redd on the record because he talks about how he don't like doing drugs, but he does it because he's depressed. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of our youth being vilified because, you know, I have a philosophy, and it's a daddy-o philosophy, but I say this all the time. I say it like it makes I'm Paul Mooney, like it makes my teeth white, right? If Young Thug is not my son, then whose son is he? Because he can't be Kenny Rogers' son. He can't be Bob Marley's son. He's not John Bon Jovi's son. So we can't detach ourselves from these people. I hate that conversation that be happening like, oh, this is not hip hop that they're doing. No, this is an issue of absentee fatherism. Goes right back to what Delight is saying about the elders. You know, we want to say, and even throughout Stetsasonic, throughout Stop Self-Destruction, that we're here for you. You know, you need to talk to somebody. We're here because nobody's talking to these kids. You know what I mean? And so that's what the project is about. We want to touch the people that's doing the real work, the people that's doing the soup kitchens, the people that's, you know, dealing with brothers and sisters that's coming home that don't have no job, that's on parole, and that, you know, boom, we want to be in touch with their parole officers, letting them know that they're doing the right thing and help forward them. It's you know, yes, you know, there's some people out there doing it, but we want to be the soundtrack to the people that's doing the real work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just want to ask Daddy a quick question on that same note. And Delighted, you know, I know both of you guys in particular, Islam, 5% Nation, all of that has played a big part in your life, you know, coming up. And back in like 70s, 80s, even going into the 90s, there was a different atmosphere as far as out here in New York in particular. I'm going to speak because that's what I know as far as New York goes. Where, you know, we were young, we were outside hanging out. We would come across, you know, cats that were a little bit older than us that would kind of talk to us and give us knowledge and stuff like that. Where I don't see, you know, a lot of that happening too much in New York, certain spots probably, but not overall the way it was before. How can kids these days, you know, yes, you are trying to do your part and help them out, but how can kids, you know, where do they have to look to get like certain type of knowledge and things that we would just had the privilege to walk down the street and it was all surrounding us all day, every day?
I think, first of all, reading is important, you know, so you gotta read, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to read, or if you don't know how to read, then you have to learn how to read. And then again, the communication that can be provided by way of music, by way of you know, just talking to kids, just in general, because I talk to young people pretty much all the time, as much as I possibly can, and so forth and so on. So it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time and picking up on information by way of, you know, people in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? If there is a breakdown in our neighborhood in regards to communication between young and old, that has to be restored. You know what I'm saying? But us as elders, we got to make sure that we're giving them, you know, substance. You know what I'm saying? Something that they'll be able to carry with them. You know what I'm saying? Or at least look at, and if they feel that it has to be renewed in some kind of way, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely have to do something in regards to our neighborhood and trying to improve the state of mind, you know what I'm saying, and the heart, because it takes the act of caring in order for us to put everything back together again.
Yeah, and a lot of that starts with, I know your question is like, where can young people find it, but I think a lot of that starts with the education of the parents, right? Because we got a lot of parents that shook. You know, they shook.
Yeah.
They kind of like, they withdraw to themselves. It's like, you know, it's just about me and mine, and we've never ever in our lives thought that somebody else's kid is not our kid. If I go back to old African villages, your kid might not be with you for 3 weeks. He with Baba Delight. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Delight, where's Sarah Grace? He said, oh, she's fine. She's over here, you know, doing whatever. And I'm good. Oh, she's with Baba Wise. I don't care. You understand what I'm trying to say? She's over there with others. So, you know, because maybe I got on her nerves. You know what I'm saying? So she's got some other Babas that she could go to and say, yo, you know, Baba Daddy-O is, you know, he's a little too aggressive. So the light's coming back at me and saying, I never forget one time I was on the street trying to teach somebody, and the light comes to me and said, yo, nobody's going to listen to you talking loud like that. These guys don't understand what's going on. Like they don't understand what's happening. You're going to have to soften your approach, bro, if you want to try to get this through to them. You understand what I'm trying to say? But that's an adult, right? Educating an adult. And then it goes into the children. I think a lot of times the reason that they don't have anywhere to go is because they don't have adults to go through. And so that's kind of sort of why I want to, the approach for Stop Self-Destruction is the way that it is, because I think adults, and I'm around blacks and whites, they vilify these kids. They just say, oh, you know, even some of my peers, and I ain't gonna mention no names, but they, you know, I talk to them about it and go, oh, they don't want to listen, Daddy. Or I don't think y'all are talking. You're talking about they don't want to listen. Come on, bro. How you know they don't want to listen? You don't even know these kids. You have no idea who these kids are. You know what I'm saying? You talking greasy about 21 Savage. You don't even know 21 Savage. So how are you talking greasy about the guy that you don't know, and he's a little kid? According to me, these guys are little kids. So, but they shook. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want to be in the right place at the right time. And, you know, just to bring it full circle, I mean, that's part of the reason why we do music, because we know that music, and it might have been said a million times, but I don't think that it's dead, right? Music is a universal language.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is when they hear certain music that moves them, it's attractive. And then that starts a lot of what kind of goes on. You know what I mean? Whether or not those in particular, I know what you're talking about with New York. You know, when the Guards was out there strong with their flags and a whole bunch of other stuff. Me and Rusty Jukes have actually made a record called Guards and Dope Fiends that addressed that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I understand, you know what I mean? Like a lot of it is not there, but I think, you know, things have changed. We dealing with the internet now. We're dealing with a whole bunch of things, but adults has just got to step it up. So we just want to be kind of like that front line of adults that step it up, that show, because you know why, man? A lot of times people don't think things can be done. Right? It's got nothing to do with it, but a lot of times you're dealing with these people, they don't think it could be done. I was so happy today, man. I got a brother, right? His name is Big Steve. He lives on the West Coast. He is such a classic hip hop fan. It's crazy. When this record dropped, man, I can send y'all a text. Man, I've been waiting 33 years for this. Blah, 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 da, 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 da. Like, he's so happy a new Stet record is out. He just was telling me the other day. He said, man, I didn't even know you sampled Juicy Fruit and talking all that jazz. I listened to this record 33 years and I ain't know that. He said, I just listened to it 5 times. I'm in there cracking up that you put Juicy in it. You know what I mean? But Steve is the one, here's my point. Steve is the one that called me today about the Kendrick record. And he only did that because I've been in his ear about these young people. He never would have knew it was there, but I've been in his ear about these young people. And he's like, man, you know, I don't listen to none of the new stuff, but man, I heard this Kendrick record and I just want to hear your take. And that's what it's about. We used to back in the day say each one teach one, right? That's what it's about. It's about turning these adults on to the fact that you can do this. You can speak to these young people. You can get their ear. You can, because a lot of them have given up the hope, and they think that the young people are hopeless.
Wise. What's
and,
up?
And you gotta learn as an adult and stuff. You gotta learn not to talk at them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the issues. You know, that's a very big issue nowadays, that people talk at the youth and they don't try to talk with them. You know, so that's definitely a very, very big deal. That's to come to youth at times, you know, they don't want to listen and stuff, you know. You talk at them.
Right.
What's up next for Wise?
Wise
got a show coming up.
Thank you.
Got a show coming up.
Yeah, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's one of my peoples that live out here in Virginia where I'm at and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He had asked me if I wanted to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because he got his 60th birthday coming up, and you know we real cool and stuff. So I said, I'll do something and stuff real fast and stuff. And he want me to close the show. I said, nah, I don't want to close the show. You know, I said, it's your birthday. You know, I know that you know what I'm saying? And he has, what's his name?
Christopher Williams.
Yeah, Christopher Williams is on the bill and stuff. He got a few comedy acts. Chris Thomas and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I do it for his 60th birthday, but I told him I don't want to close the show and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do my part and stuff. It's your birthday, so I do it for your birthday, and you know what I'm saying? But also I definitely want to work on a solo album and stuff. I got like some music, you know, going on and stuff, and lyrics and stuff, and you know, I'm still, you know, I want other beats from other producers and stuff, you know, see what they got. Definitely C-Doc, because that remix of Here We Go Again, Daddy-O, you know, I'm crazy about that remix, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely want something from him and stuff so I can continue working on stuff, because, you know, like I said, that the album I'm working on is called Spinoff. And, you know, it's a spin-off off of Stetsasonic and stuff. So I got some material going on and stuff like that. But I'm looking for more material and stuff. And, you know, and definitely I'll be putting it on, you know, on Daddy-O's label, Chuck D's label, you know what I'm saying? You know, to get it popping and stuff.
Yeah, and we, you know, with the new album, we did all 4 forms. So we did digital and the CD, which is available now, and then we also have a cassette and some wax. So if you get the CD, Wise has a solo record on a CD called Introducing Lito Brigante, which will blow your mind.
Oh, MC Delight, what's up next for you?
Well, it's a surprise. I'm working on some solo stuff right now. So, but while I'm doing that, I'm also, you know, making sure that I, you know, do that stuff for our second album. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I have a plan for a third Stet album. But it's going to be a surprise, because none of the guys, I don't want to even talk about it just yet, because it's going to be like a real surprise when I finally, you know, make sure that the vision is thoroughly clear on exactly what I'm gonna, you know, what I want to try to do. But I'll be working on, you know, some solo stuff. I got a couple of other artists that I'm doing. I got a young lady by the name of Amira, and most likely she will appear on our second album. She's a singer out from Philadelphia, and I think people are going to be quite surprised at what she can do and stuff like that. So I got some stuff on the board that I'm doing.
Yeah, I have to say this, man. I gotta say it because Delight, you're funny. I don't think anybody else caught this. But you over there keeping track of the Knicks score, and I kind of forgot, and I went and looked, and I was so right now. Sorry, sincere, my apologies, but this is insane that I get to have Daddy-O, Wise, Delight. The Knicks are 2 minutes in, 89-86. You might be closing this out right now. I am super. My heart, right now my heart is like this.
Hey, I'm right outside the bar. I came to a sports bar to watch it. I'm out here with y'all. My people's inside.
Ricky, I saw the light. He's like, yo, the Knicks. Nobody else caught it. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. Hold on. So my heart
I got it. I got it right here.
Yeah.
Well, when you see me going like this, I'm like, yo.
I just want to say, man, this is truly an honor to have you guys on. While the Knicks might be closing this out and going to the second round.
That's right. That's right.
Document that so when it happens.
See you there, Daddy-O.
Yeah, we'll see you there, brother. We will see you there. Yeah. I hope Reggie is the announcer too.
Yeah, listen, So listen, guys, we want to take up more of your time. We just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and Sincere and Changing of the Hip Hop Guards for everything you guys have done in the past and continue to do moving into the future, man. It's truly an honor. I have to say, since I have you guys, thank you so much for the song Go Stetsa. It's one of my favorite. I don't understand how you guys even made that shit. I guess like they say, the planets and everything have to align right, but it's flawless. Made everybody in the world think they were from Brooklyn every time that song was on. Thank you for that. And thank you for everything else, man. We appreciate it.
I'll call you right back.
Truly an honor.
Before we get out of here, can you guys shout out your social media and where we can keep up with Stetsasonic as well as your individual accounts?
I think my IG page.
His is Delight Man 3000. That's Delight.
Delight Man 3000. You know, and that's DELITE, not DEL. IGHT. It's DELITE. Delight Man 3000, as well as I have Marvin Wright 98 as an IG page.
Yeah, and mine's is Wise_Stetsasonic on IG, and on Facebook is Wise Roman at Facebook.com.
Oh yeah, Marvin Wright on Facebook.
Yeah, and I'm Professor Daddy-O, one word everywhere.
Thank you.
I was doing Daddy-O. I did Daddy-O, right? I did a search for Daddy-O. I seen bikes, I seen hot dogs, I seen restaurants. I said, man, let me do something for the SEO. So I did Professor Daddy-O at work. So I'm Professor Daddy-O everywhere. And then Stetsasonic is the real Stetsasonic. And then there's Stetsasonic is just Stetsasonic on Facebook. But hit us up either way. And then definitely check out our Bandcamp page because it got everything. Like even the old stuff is on our Bandcamp page.
Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you guys for everything you've done for the culture.
No doubt.
With us, and we'll see you guys again in the near future.